Hi, so today I'm going to be showing you how to use Collaborate Ultra, which is the Canvas-supported Skype-esque system software used when you want to have a face-to-face chat or any other form of synchronous communication. Now, with this in mind, I am going to be showing you two different ways to access your Collaborate Ultra as a student. First, I'm going to show you how to use it using your computer, and second, I'm going to show you how to use it with your phone. Okay, so if you're using your computer, you're going to need to get into the Collaborate Ultra program, which you can find in your classroom. So step one is to click on your classroom on your dashboard. And step two is to actually find it in the left-hand side. So it'll just say Collaborate Ultra, and you just need to click on it. Now, once you're in here, you're going to notice that there's going to be a session. Now, you might have just something really simple like this, where there's only one link. You also might have something that's a little bit more complicated, especially if your professor decides to do recurring dates. Then you might have something a little bit more complicated, looking like this. In this case, you want to make sure that you're choosing the right date, which you'll find here, and the right time, which you'll find here. And your professor might have different names for different things, so it's up to you to sort of figure out, communicate with your professor to make sure that you are in the right session if you are at all confused. Okay, so to get access to the session itself, you will want to click on the appropriate time, and you're going to get two options. One, you can join the session on your computer, or you can join it by dialing in. So the first thing I want you to do is to join your session. Okay, so once you click that join session button, you are going to enter into the classroom under your own name. Now, a couple of quick things. First, I want to highlight that you are not going to share audio or video right off the bat. So the first thing you might want to do is click the share audio button. When that shows green, it's telling you that you're good, your mic is working. Now, you also might want to share video, especially if it's in a smaller group. Keep in mind, though, it's going to give you a bit of a preview. Make sure that you look the way you want to look. Make sure your background looks the way that you want it to look. Once it's ready, it's going to click Share Video. Now, one thing that I highly suggest, as you notice in the video, you can see down in the corner, I am using headphones right now. Using headphones will help avoid feedback from your computer speakers, and that will make for a much cleaner audio experience in this space. Now, a second thing, as you maybe have already noticed, is the professor's not here yet. So again, don't hesitate to check some things out. On this side, you can use your phone, get a tour, get help if you need, check out the privacy policy, or if you have any issues, you can share that. On the Collaborate panel, this is where you're going to have a lot more options for sharing things, checking out the other attendees, and most importantly, the chat button. This is especially useful if you don't have, for example, a microphone and you still want to contribute, or if you want to, for example, message a professor. You can also click on My Settings, and this can help you set up camera, microphone. Again, use your phone for audio, and you also can set up your notifications. So, for example, if you're in this session and you want to be alerted to whether or not someone has joined the group, you want to be alerted to whenever anyone posts a chat message, and then if you can provide closed captioning as well. This is going to be really useful so that if maybe you can't see, you're looking away for a moment, the notifications will just keep you on track on where the conversation is at that moment. And if you're just curious who's in the room, you'll find a list of people here. Okay, so I do want to quickly cover the different chat options available to you. So first and foremost, you'll have your main chat where everyone is going to see. It's going to be on this bottom tab here. Now, let's say you have a question, or let's say maybe you don't have a microphone that works. This is a great way to interact with the class as a whole and still participate. So let's say you have a quick question about an assignment. You just need to type it in, hit enter, and your professor will have the ability to respond as well as any of your peers. And it will continue to track every single conversation. Keep in mind that if you leave the room and you re-enter, it will erase this history. Okay, now let's say you want to specifically message one of your professors or a specific individual in the class. You're going to use this tab down here. And what you're going to choose is to send a direct chat message to your professor. And again, once you select that option, they will get your notification, especially if hopefully their settings are turned on so they get to see the chats, and you will get the response. It might appear though, as you noticed here, in the Everyone tab. So just keep that in mind that if you're going to use chat, it's a very public thing. So be thoughtful about what you're going to post at any given moment, simply because it might get broadcast to the entire class. Okay, so one of the really cool things about Collaborate Ultra is that if your professor shares something, for example, a PowerPoint, PDF, or some other document, you can actually annotate it. Now, if you're going to annotate it, you'll want to look at the top left-hand corner of the screen. These are your annotation tools. So let's say your professor has a question and they want you to fill in the blank. You can choose the text option and you can type it in. Now, it's not going to show until you hit enter, but then your professor will be able to see what you have written. If you feel like you want to change the color of your font to make sure it's easy to read based upon the background, there's all kinds of colors available in this tab. Now, let's say you want to hand draw something. You can use the pencil option to hand draw. And all you need to do, again, is use your mouse to draw in on the document. Now, if you're going to do this, again, keep in mind your professor will see all of it. But the nice thing is it does have a stabilization tool, so if your handwriting isn't the best, it will actually clear it up. Like that. Now, couple of things that you also may want to know. If you want to add shapes, you just need to click this button. You can add shapes to the screen. If you're struggling to see, you can zoom in using this button, zoom out using this one. If you want to reshape how it looks, you click this one, or if you want to see the actual size. But as we can see, that's kind of hard to see, so best fit is going to be your best option. Okay, so one other options your professor has in order to share information is through a whiteboard, and you can use the exact same tools to communicate with your professor as you would if they were sharing a document. So again, we can just type something in. And again, reminder, they're not going to see it if you're typing anything out until you hit enter. Okay, so let's say your professor is giving a presentation and you either want to ask your professor a question or you want to answer their question. So how do you get their attention? Well, the easiest way to do it is by using the raise hand button. Once you hit this button, your professor will receive a notification that you would like to speak, and they can then call on you. Now, as you'll notice, this button is going to stay purple as long as they haven't clicked on the link, but at a certain point, your professor may choose to hit lower the hand, and if that happens, then the button will no longer be purple. Okay, so thank you very much for watching my videos, and I really hope you all stay safe, stay healthy, and get through the semester as best you can. All right, thanks again.